Our News4Jax crews are covering the very latest developments from every angle this evening. We begin tonight with Channel 4's Joy Purdy, who spoke with a prospective juror and former folio writer who printed the quote.
He wasn't chosen to be a juror on the Michael Dunn murder retrial, but he was hauled back into court this morning to testify before the judge. And what this freelance writer had to say actually got a juror dismissed from the jury. For 3 days, the local freelance writer was among the hundreds who went through the screening process, but Richard David Smith III wound up not being chosen as a juror for the Michael Dunn murder retrial. That's why he says he was surprised to get a knock on his door from a Jacksonville police officer who escorted him to the trial Saturday morning. Smith says Judge Russell Healy asked him to explain what Smith told a local newspaper about his experience during the jury screening process. Smith and others were led through a hallway before being questioned further about the case. Smith says that's when a man he describes as weighing about 400 pounds, also being screened, joked out loud about the state attorney prosecuting the Dunn retrial, saying, quote, "She couldn't prove to a court that I'm fat." That man was ultimately selected to be juror number 4. But after Judge Healy heard Smith's story, juror number 4 was dismissed.
It probably made his day because he was saying, this was on record to everybody that he was concerned about missing the football games this Saturday. So, he probably owes me a beer, at this point.
We asked Smith why he didn't tell anyone about juror number 4's joke sooner. Smith says others, including law enforcement, heard the remark, and Smith figured one of them would have said something if they thought the joke was that serious. Smith also said everyone had opinions about this trial, and the judge was aware of that. Hear more of what Smith had to say tonight on the 10 o'clock news. Joy Purdy, Channel 4, the local station.
Channel 4's Haley Winslow was inside the courtroom earlier today when all of this was unfolding. Haley, Judge Healy is known as a no-nonsense judge. What was his reaction to this today?
Adrian, it was very different than what Smith just said in that interview. According to Judge Russell Healy, he said that the juror was excused. We had the Times Union attorney, George Gable, come in today and ask for the transcript to talk about what was discussed before the court started this morning. That's why we had that hour-and-a-half delay. Judge Healy said he would work on getting that transcript, but he said that juror number 4's behavior towards being excused was very different. He said juror number 4 was very apologetic. He was very concerned about this disrupting the proceedings of court and how this would affect the trial. He honestly couldn't remember if he said or didn't say what was in that Folio Weekly article, and he was also very concerned about his safety, asking a police officer to escort him to his car and to his house to make sure he wasn't being followed. Now, the state called 7 witnesses today, a total of 25 witnesses over the last 3 days. The biggest testimony came from Rhonda Rower, Michael Dunn's former fiance. I want to bring